Okay, he's Omega here, and I'm doing a tire review for the SR1 Light B, with the Shinko Trials tires, are also known as the Shinko SR241s. So these tires came with my bike when I bought them. When I bought this bike, used from somebody in San Francisco, and they have these Trials tires installed. So this is the first time I actually ran some Trials tires on any kind of bike I had. So I'd like to do a review on them because I'm going to change them out for some knobbier tires. So I'll tell you my experiences with them, and what I think are good about them, what I think are bad about them. So this is the Shinko SR241. You can see it's kind of got like a blocky pattern. These are what your Trials tires normally look like. Trials tires are really soft, really soft. So one of the good things I do like about this tire is I installed a rim lock on this pretty recently, and I had to take the tire off. And taking the tire off was like super easy. It was like taking a bicycle tire off. I couldn't believe, like, I didn't really need tools to take it off, or to even like install it, it was super soft. That being said, I do recommend that you put a rim lock on the rear on your bike if you are going to do any kind of aggressive off-road riding. I'm running it at 15 psi, so when you ride off-road, you want to lower your tire pressure so you can get some better grip off-road. So grip, let me talk about that first. So these tires are great dual sport tires for your SR1 Light B. Also, if you guys are wondering what tire size this is the 2.75 inch 19 inch for the stock SR1 wheels. Yeah, so there they are. And like I said, this one has a rim lock installed. I have a video on how to install one and why I think it should have a rim lock, so check that video out if you're interested. But yeah, so I've put these tires through the ringer. I've ridden them on a racetrack.
Ah, it feels pretty good. I wish it could. Oh, I tried to grab the brake. I tried to grab the rear brake.
I've ridden them on like trails.
All right, here we go. Oh, went off. Oh! It's okay, man. It's okay. Oh! Crashed right through there. Good job, dum-dum.
I've raced them in a dirt sprint enduro. I've ridden them over rocks.
Tires will be slippery though. Oh, Jesus.
I rode it in the Rubicon.
Looks like we're gonna have to go over that rock. Oh shit. We're gonna go up that slick rock. We're gonna hit it hard. All right, let's go. Come on, go, go, go. All right, hit it hard. Woo! Don't go up here, man. It's steep.
And roots and stuff, and mud, all sorts of conditions. So have a pretty good idea like how these tires are. Okay, so it's a good dual sport tire. It's kind of like a good like kind of 50-50 type dual sport tire. If anything, it's a little more street oriented. What you do with the trials bike is, you go over obstacles like rocks and stuff, and you run really low tire pressures, and like you bounce your bike off of stuff. So it's for that kind of stuff. For trials, I think it does pretty good. Until like the rocks get wet and stuff, and then it just spins and stuff. So, but yeah, on the road they're actually pretty. They're a great tire if you're going to be riding your Sur-Ron on the pavement. They don't they don't have like really. It's not a really aggressive knobby pattern on the wheels, so you can see it. It's just kind of this block pattern, similar to kind of like this. This is a Shinko 705. This is a Shinko 705. So this is a dual sport tire right here. This is a street-oriented dual sport tire. So like I said, I feel these tires are kind of more. It's more biased towards the pavement. I would say maybe like a 60/40, something like that. Because it is still knobby, and it's nice and quiet. It's smooth and it's soft. It rolls nicely. You can run them at higher on the pavement. I would run them at higher tire pressures, I guess, but it's fine just putting around at 15 psi also. So but that leads me to the how they do in the dirt. They don't do very well in dirt. If anything, they're good for doing rocks. I rode a lot of rocks in the Rubicon, and they're fine. They have a nice kind of wide sidewall. The tire is tough, man. Yeah, also I'll talk about that. The tire is pretty tough. I rode it in the Rubicon. There's lots of rocks and stuff, lots of rubbing on the tires and stuff. You can see the wheels are kind of beat up with like stones hitting them and stuff, like big rocks. I'm talking like rock garden stuff. These tires, they survived, and they looked relatively unscathed. Yeah, they actually look pretty damn good for having put them through hell. But yeah, so on the pavement, it's a great tire. It's soft. If you're looking for like a more kind of pavement-oriented tire, it's good. It's a good rocks tire until the rocks get wet, and then it gets really slippery. And I did ride it at the racetrack one time with these tires, and they did all right. They did. Granted, like I was using the dirt setup, and you can only go 37 miles an hour with the dirt setup. But it was a lot of fun. I thought it did pretty good on the track because they're so soft, But we weren't going really, really fast, so that's what I'm gonna say. They're relatively inexpensive too. I think. I don't know how much the previous owner paid for them, but I think you can get probably a pair. You might be able to get a pair of these for like almost $100. So it's a pretty good deal. And they're pretty easy to find too. The Shinko tire. Oh, in the dirt. So in the dirt, boy, on hard packed dirt, it does pretty good, but anything kind of loose, it loses traction right away. Like soft dirt, sand. I rode it in the sand for a little bit on a beach.
Play around on the sand here. Oh, I didn't get any traction, dude. Woo! There you go. You can ride on the sand with this. You want to try it again? Oh, this is a pivot turn instead of doing a donut. That's the deep stuff. Here it's not very deep. It does okay. Okay, it eats up a lot of power to go through the sand, dude. So.
And it's okay, but it just, you don't really get that confidence riding it in the sand. You don't feel it like really gripping and stuff. Maybe I had to lower the tire pressure more, but yeah, I felt that any kind of loose dirt, it's not very good at it. Especially on this bike. This bike has a 62 sprocket. You can see here, this is the Unicycle 62 rear sprocket, and it's got a lot of torque in the rear. So once you get on that throttle and it's kind of loose, it just spins really easily. I felt that like I raced this in the Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro, and I felt that that was one of the things that like was holding me back, the tires. So I bought some new tires for the dirt. So I have some Supermoto wheels. I have the Suron Supermoto wheels for this bike. So I'm probably, when I just ride on the pavement, it's just going to be with the Supermoto setup, and then when I go to the dirt, we just swap the dirt setup back on. So yeah, that's the way I think, you know. But I think if you were going to use, I think if you wanted a good dual sport tire, this is a good one right here. If you weren't gonna, you know, if you were just gonna do some light off-road riding, like trail riding and stuff, and you weren't racing or anything, then these are okay. They're fine. And I have to say, like I mentioned earlier, they take punishment pretty well. The rear tire, look at how it's not that beat up. It doesn't look too bad. You know, it looks a little rough. I know it does kind of look a little rough actually, but it's not like a knobby tire. Like, look at the rear tire. Look at the rear tire for my KLX here. This thing is beat up. Look at it, chunk knobs all over the place. Right there, you got a knob ripping off there. Yeah. So these tires take punishment pretty damn well. So let's say the front one looks still pretty new. So yeah, they don't get cut so easily on the rocks, and especially for like having a soft tire, and they what's the word? Yeah, they take punishment really well. Like I was riding it through some really rocky terrain. So yeah, the really rocky stuff, it did pretty well. They can take a beating. And the good thing is, since you got two front tires on the Suron setup, you can rotate the tires. So I feel like this one is a little more beat up because of the rear tire. You can see like it's sharper on one side than the other. Well, you can just, and plus they're not directional, so you could flip them around too. But I could just rotate this one. I could take this tire off and put it here. And like I said, the tire installation and removal is super easy with these. So it makes a great trail tire, because you could fix it on a trail real easy. You don't really need like a bead breaker or some sort, you know. So yeah. So that's my take on it. It's on the loose stuff, it's not very good. On hard packed and stones and stuff, mud, it's not very good. It doesn't grip very good in mud. And plus, if you ride it through some deep mud, it would pack up really quick. Yeah, it would pack up because the knobs are really close to each other. So yeah. So what else? Yeah. So that's what I think about the Shinko tires. I think they're it's a good like 50-50 tire for your Suron Light B. I think the stock tires are like they're really knobby. They're just made for riding on the dirt basically. So I think if you're looking for a more street-oriented tire, this works, and it still works in the dirt. I think it's good for a casual trail riding, not really hardcore off-road riding. And so with that, I'm going to show you what tires I'm going to be running on these wheels now. I'm going to take these tires off. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but yeah. So during the Coyote Creek Sprint Enduro, I knew, like, man, we needed better tires, because it just, anytime you hit any kind of soft, loose dirt, it would just spin the tire. So this is what I've come up with. We're going to install these two tires. This is the Kenda Trackmaster right here, and this is a Shinko F546. This is an intermediate tire, knobby tire, and they're both front tires. I went with the track. So my idea here is to go with the Trackmaster in the back, because the Trackmaster kind of looks like. By the way, this is a worn Trackmaster. This is what they look like when they wear. This is what the one on the Suron looks like. I think this is a 16. On the Suron, it is a 70-119 is what you want for your front and rear tires. But I chose the Kenda Trackmaster for the back because I've used it before, and it's actually a pretty good tire. It doesn't take punishment quite as well, but I put these tires through hell, and they're pretty much done if I'm looking at them. I think it would be better in the sand too, because it's kind of like a sand paddle. tire. It's got these big lugs that look like sand paddles almost. So my idea is to put this on the rear to get you as much traction in the back, you know, much what's it, directional traction. And then these ones are kind of knobbier. They're more rounded, so I'm gonna put this one in the front. This is an intermediate tire. This tire, I think, is kind of like a, I think this is like an intermediate also, or like a soft. This is also a dot knobby also, so it's street legal, supposedly. Well, I don't think anybody really gonna check, man, on your Sur-Ron. But these look hell of a lot more knobbier than these guys. Look at that. So I'm hoping we can get some more traction out of these. These actually look narrower than those. They do look narrower, but that's for the front. So the rear is going to be this one. So yeah, they do look kind of narrower. That's okay. So I'll probably shoot another video when I get them installed. I'll let you guys know how they fit and everything, and how easily they were able to install. But this is the Shinko Trackmaster 2. And then this is Kenda Trackmaster 2, sorry. And this is the Shinko F546 intermediate tire. So kind of intermediate tire is kind of like an in between, like a loose and hard pack stuff. So I thought that's okay. So we're gonna go with this one for the front and this one for the rear. So yeah. All right, so that's my review on the Shinko Trials tire, the SR241s. I think they're a great kind of all-around tire, but off-road they're kind of lacking, especially in the soft stuff, or the soft or the loose stuff. They're not good at all. They just spin, and then you get kind of stuck in when you get stuck, it's hard to get out of there, you know. Especially with the kind of power this bike is putting out in the rear. So yeah, so that's my review on it. I thought it was it's a good all-around tire. All right, here's me go.